Welcome to the side quest, where we explore the Platinum Trophy experience from the perspective of a gamer with a busy schedule. So, if you're short on time like me, and you want to know which games are worth the grind and which games aren't, then you're in the right place. In each review, we'll break down the difficulty, the time commitment, and the quality of the story and gameplay. We'll also highlight any standout trophies and potential roadblocks before giving the final verdict on whether that Platinum Trophy is truly worth your time. So, without further ado, let's get to it. Ghost Recon Breakpoint. According to PSN profiles, it's a 3 out of 10 difficulty, takes one playthrough, and around 30 hours. Personally, I think that's a mostly fair assessment. I'll get on to my reservations later. So, what is Ghost Recon Breakpoint? Well, it's an open world, tactical, third-person shooter, where you play as Nomad, the leader of a special forces unit called Ghosts. Your helicopter gets shot down and you end up stranded on an advanced private archipelago called Aurora, and the island has fallen under control of ex-ghosts that call themselves Wolves, led by Nomad's former comrade who's gone rogue, Cole D. Walker, who's played by none other than The Walking Dead's and The Punisher's John Bernthal. Honestly, the story isn't much to write home about, but the tactical gameplay and deep customization of weaponry, equipment, and your character more than make up for it. The system for picking up missions and progressing the story is pretty annoying. You always have to come back to this hub area, but the game's online nature makes it a pain. The area is always swarmed with other players' characters constantly blocking your path and the mission givers. The open world is where the game's strengths really show. It often feels quiet and somewhat lonely, but in a good way. Leaning into the military theme where you're expected to traverse vast areas to reach your target, the emptiness actually adds to the realism in setting. That being said, if you're not a fan of moving alone, you can turn teammates on and off at any time. The always online requirement is a major drawback, however, especially for solo players. It gets old fast when a random server issue kicks you out halfway through a mission. The game has had many updates and improvements since release, but here is where my reservations lie. Personally, I think the absolute best way to play this game is in immersive mode, with the Darkest Night setting turned on. What this means is, in immersive mode, the gear level is turned off, so you don't need to keep swapping to weapons and equipment you don't like or want to use just to meet a gear level requirement. It also gets rid of some of the HUD, and gives the game a more tactical focus and a more realistic survival experience. As for the Darkest Night setting, the game's regular day-night cycle is not too bad, but when it's night, it feels more like dusk. But with the Darkest Night setting turned on, it makes the night a lot darker, making night vision goggles necessary to operate in the dark. But here lies the problem: the trophy list. Some trophies are tied to gear score, specifically Born in the Purple and Lord of War. If you want the Platinum Trophy, you're forced to play on a version of the game which is much less enjoyable. There are also online trophies. The main roadblocks here are In the Belly of the Beast, which requires a gear score of 150 plus, which is an endgame score, and you'll need a full 4-player team just to enter the raid area. There's also a trophy for winning a game of team deathmatch, but dead matchmaking makes that a headache. And then there's a couple of co-op trophies, which are the easiest of the online trophies. However, it's best to go for these with a friend you can communicate with, as the random players you can join tend to just clear off in the middle of missions or go do their own thing. So, should you platinum Ghost Recon Breakpoint? No, for the simple reason that getting the mentioned trophies is just a stress, especially when it forces you into playing a version of the game which is much less enjoyable, and committing to a second playthrough just to experience how the game should be played from the beginning just isn't worth it. The game is worth your time. The Platinum is not. If you like tactical military shooters, then I definitely think you'll enjoy this, whether you play alone or with a friend, especially in immersive mode. Ghost Recon Breakpoint gets the final recommendation of play, but don't Platinum. If you've already earned the Platinum Trophy or are planning to go for it, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.